What is going on YouTube today? We're going to be talking about my first track day, how it went, what I did to prepare for it, and what you should look out for when you're going to the track for the first time. Stay tuned. Well, here it is. Here is the track bike. This was my street bike for about 5 years. Now I got the good old S1K over there. But now I'm kind of turning it into a track-only bike. At least after my first day, I kind of fell in love with it. Go over some of the things that I experienced and some of the things that I did before, during, and after. So first things first, you have to get your bike ready to go to the track. Different tracks have different rules and different organizations run those track days. So you got to make sure you pay attention to what rules they have and what kind of regulations they're running. I went to Nelson's Ledges. It's a local track here in Ohio. It's run by an organization called Fast Tracks. Really great people. I had a great experience with them. And they have pretty, basic rules for track days. Some places are a little more strict than others. I found all their rules to make perfect sense and align with pretty much every other track's website that I was looking into. Starting off, I was a novice, obviously a new rider. I still am. I might be getting bumped to intermediate for next season, but we'll see how that goes. So as a novice, there are different rules than intermediate. So I'm just going to go over all of the novice rules because this is for you people that are going on the track for the first time. First things first, you need to tape up your headlights and taillights. What I did here is I took like blue painter's tape. You can kind of see it underneath there. I took blue painter's tape and then I covered it with black duct tape just because whatever, I kind of just like the look of the black more than the blue, but either way, I did the blue painter's tape just so that it would be easy to take off. I honestly haven't taken it off and it's held up pretty well. There's a little light right here as well that I got done. And then I did the blinkers. I didn't circle exactly around them just because they're really small. So I just kind of covered the whole thing. Again, same thing, blue painter's tape and then black duct tape. And then same thing for the rear. You can kind of see the blue painter's tape a little more back here, but it's all taped up, fully taped up. You don't want any of your headlights or taillights to be seen, and that's pretty much a standard rule for any track that you go to. And since we're back here, I went ahead and completely removed the license plate and the bracket. For me, I just didn't see a need to have either of those back here because I don't really plan on riding this on the street anymore. Most people will tape up their mirrors. I just completely removed mine. Again, kind of turning this into a track bike. So I just took them off completely and I replaced them with these little plates that just go in there. Eventually I will be running my camera up here so I can kind of tether it to that little plate right there just so it doesn't go flying off and hurt anyone on the track. Now before the track day, I also did a fresh oil change just to make sure it's got fresh oil running through it. I put new brake pads on the front and the rear. You're going to use the fronts, obviously, pretty much 100% of the time on the track. I replaced both of them just because I actually purchased them like a little while ago, but I figured I might as well get it done. And I also got new tires. My last tires had a decent amount of tread left on them, but for the track, you really want to have a lot of tread left. And to me, it just made sense. It's my first track day. Let me throw some new tires on there, so I'll be good to go. 3 track days. You can see the tires are a little worn out, but I still got a little bit of tread left on them. Probably run a couple more track days for next season, but we'll see how I feel when the time comes. You also want to do a general overview of everything on your bike. They're going to check your brake lever. They're going to check your clutch. They're going to check your throttle. That's a really big thing because if it comes back and sticks, you're not going to be able to do the track day. So make sure your brake is working right. Make sure your clutch is catching. I mean, they're not going to get on your bike and ride it, but they look kind of at everything. They look at your brakes, tires, make sure all your panels are all snug and all your, fairings are tied down well. I actually had a bolt go missing down here. So if I left it like this for the next track day, it would definitely fail inspection. But I'm obviously going to take care of that before I go back. So now your bike's ready to go. The next big thing that you obviously need is gear. You make sure your helmet is, up to date. It's a newer helmet. They don't accept modular helmets, so you need like a full face helmet. If you have anything hanging on it, any goofy ears or stuff, take all that stuff off. You don't want them to stop you for something stupid like that. You need full leathers or a two-piece suit. I have the full leather suit. I'll do a review on all my gear coming soon, eventually at least. But for now, you need the full leathers, you need gauntlet gloves, you need full riding boots, like actual riding boots. And I mean, you want to be safe out there. You know, this is a dangerous sport. It's a fun sport, but you really got to be careful so that you can ride the next ride and you can do the next track day. I also want to add that I do have an airbag I bought specifically. It's an Alpinestars airbag. I'm a big safety guy, if you've seen in my other videos. I try to ride safe. I try to ride with most of, if not all, my gear at all times. And for the track, I just figured it was worth that initial investment and it'll last me a long time. Now, I just want to go over my experience in general for this first day at the track. I had a blast. It was a really good time. It is intimidating. I've been riding for a very long time. I have almost 20 years under my belt on two wheels. I did dirt bikes, motocross. I've been riding on the street since I could get my license. You know, I've had a lot of time on these, but the track is a whole different beast. You learn a lot about body positioning. You learn what it actually feels like to ride these things at these high speeds very consistently. It's a really good time. It's fun, but like I said, it's very intimidating. When you first get out there, you know, some of these guys have been riding for a long time. They have coaches there to help you, and they are a huge help. They go through everything. They take you on the track at your pace. They don't push you. You know, you can get comfortable slowly, little by little. Just ride at your own pace and take it easy. Even with all of my experience, I felt like it was the first time I was on a motorcycle getting on this track. But again, I had a really good time, and I rode within my means. You know, I didn't want to hurt myself. The whole reason for going to the track is to grow as a rider and get better. And they understand that, and they really, you know, support you in that. All those coaches there, the whole organization was really nice. They were really cool and super helpful. I would highly recommend, you know, checking out Fast Tracks, checking out Nelson's. It is a fast track. It's a high-speed track. You just got to take it easy your first, you know, time going out there. If you're thinking about going to the track, I know it's a lot. It's not a cheap hobby. I totally get that. It took me a while in life to be able to get to this level and to get to this point of having a couple bikes and being able to take one to the track and having a truck to drive it there and being able to afford, you know, all the gear, the bike itself, the tires, the cost of going to the track. But, you know, if you do have the opportunity to do it, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. You learn a lot about riding, and it makes you a safer and a better rider out on the road. A couple things to keep in mind when you do make it out to your first track day: check your pressures regularly. With the temperature change and the amount of heat that these tires take on, you're gonna wanna keep an eye on your pressures. I think at the beginning of the day, I've been running 30-30 and just seeing how it goes. And it's been working pretty well for me, but I'm new, so I'm really not going crazy fast, you know. So some of those guys, they fine tune it really well. But again, I'm new, so for me, it's worked pretty good for now. As you can see, I do have a camera mount here, but I didn't even bring my camera. For my first 3 track days, actually, I didn't even want to have a camera on there because you want to be in full focus. I didn't even want to have anything looking at me or feel like, oh, I'm recording now or whatever. You just want to be in your zone and you want to focus on what you're doing. You're going at very high speeds and you want to get comfortable with going at those high speeds before you get a camera involved or before you kind of start showing off. That tends to happen, and I see it happen all the time, whether it's on the street or I'm sure it happens on the track as well. Most importantly, when you're out there, you need to stay hydrated. Obviously, this is a summer sport, so it's gonna be hot outside. You have full leathers on, you have a helmet, you have boots, you have gloves, you have so much. Stay hydrated. You should be going to the bathroom, I'm not even kidding you, every 20-30 minutes and taking a piss. Not even lying, I did it, and I was peeing all day, but I was hydrated, I didn't get a headache, and I didn't have a heat stroke. So that's the most important thing, is you want to be safe and you want to be healthy. So drink a lot of water, drink a lot of electrolytes. I drank like a 12-pack of Body Armor plus a bunch of water. So stay hydrated for the whole day. Don't forget to drink your water. Now, obviously, you got to bring your motorcycle. I always bring my rear stand in case I got to tighten my chain or for whatever reason take my rear wheel off. I got my wheel chuck over here that I load up the bike with, and I got my ramp over there. I always bring an extra gas can, you know, just in case. I bring a little toolbox. If anything comes up, if you have to do anything, most of the people at the track are pretty cool, so if you do need anything, I'm sure you can find someone there with some tools to help you out. I always got my handy dandy chair. and I bring a canopy. My first track day, I did not have a canopy, but I had a friend that had one. Luckily, he had it there, and he let me sit under it. It was 90 degrees, and even with the canopy, I was sweating my ass off all day. But try to bring some sun protection too if you can. Another thing that's very important is having ear protection. I kind of messed up my hearing a little bit from going to the track. Actually, I'm doing better now, but you need to have some good hearing protection. There's a lot of wind noise. I don't care what kind of helmet you have. I don't care what kind of bike you have. I don't care what kind of exhaust you have. You really need to protect your hearing, and it gets loud out there on the bike. So make sure you bring some good earplugs. I'm getting some custom earplugs made just so I can, protect my hearing, because that's more important than really any of this. Overall, I had a great time at the track. It was intimidating and it was almost a little scary, and some people might laugh at that, but you're pushing yourself to your full limit. You're pushing the bike to the full limit. At these speeds, any little movement, any little mistake can hurt you and cost you your health and cost you your bike, and you really just need to ride your own ride and be safe out there. I highly recommend it to anyone. If you have any questions, comment in the comment section down below. I'd be happy to answer them as best I can. I'm still a very amateur, novice motorcycle track day rider, but in the couple times I've been there, I have learned a lot. If you like this video and you want to see more like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. I do want to bring you guys to the track one of these days and get some more footage actually at the track, and I do plan on doing that. I just didn't want to do that at first because I knew there was going to be a learning curve, and I want to focus all my efforts on riding itself. I can't wait to hit the track some more next season, and hopefully I'll see some of you guys out there. As always, take it easy.